Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about how to prevent procrastination. Because if you're like the rest of us in the world, we always find ourselves doing something that we have to do and we always end up doing something else. Before I get into the video, let me introduce myself. My name is Allie, and in this channel I love to talk about becoming the best version of ourselves, healing on from our past traumas, and just self-development and all of those things. Kind of like a self-care coach or guru. I will continue on giving you guys my wisdom and my experience as I go through this journey with you guys. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to subscribe to my channel and let's get on with the rest of the video. I have a confession, you guys. I suffer from a disease known as procrastination. Okay, in all seriousness, I know that's like very dramatic, but in all honestly, I just came to the realization that I really procrastinate like a lot. And it's gotten to the point where it's held me back in a couple of phases in my life, and I'm not doing that no more. We are starting to become a more organized person who shows up for everything. If that sounds good to you and you're just like me, just know like we all do this and you're not alone, and it's okay, and we're all in this together. What exactly is procrastination? Procrastination, by definition, is like the act of avoidance. It's where you will have something that you need to do. It's like a project at work or an assignment for your school, and you don't do it. Like, you do everything else. You're very distracted by everything else, and you're to avoid doing what it is that you actually need to do. And if you really want a more visualized version of what I'm trying to define, just watch that episode of SpongeBob, literally where he was procrastinating for writing a paper. Now, that literally goes into like a whole thing about procrastinating. But in a real sense though, that's what we really do. We really kind of procrastinate like that. His is more dramatic because it's a cartoon, but we kind of do that in our lives one way or another. Sometimes we know, sometimes we're not aware that we do it, but we all procrastinate one way or the other. Some examples of procrastinating could be watching too much TV, playing too many games all day, always on your phone, whether it's social media, playing games, YouTube, etc. There's the sleeping too much, or just always going out with your friends. Those are different forms of procrastination. Now, there are so many different types. I'm just scratching the surface when I talk about the many forms and examples, because it's all relevant to whoever you are and what kind of person you are. Because what I might do to procrastinate, you might not do, and vice versa. Or if in fact you are doing it to avoid a task, that is the procrastinating part. So now that I've talked about different types of procrastination, let's go ahead and continue. Ways that we can prevent procrastination. The number one tip would be to create a daily routine. For some of those, like myself, that have a more chaotic life, we have more things going on, we can kind of get lost in our day if we're not organized. We need to create a daily routine. We need to have certain parts of our day already mapped out for us, so that way we can already know what to expect once we wake up in the morning. We can have more specific things, like what I'm going to do every day at this time. Like, I'm going to work out every day at 5 o'clock after work, or I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock every day when I get up in the morning. But whatever you do, if it's something that's consistent for your schedule, it's a routine. And it could be good and it could be bad. But creating a positive daily routine, like starting off with your morning routine, is a great way you can do it, because that will also jumpstart your morning for you, and then you can find yourself being more productive for the rest of your day. Now, on the other end, just like morning routine, the night routine is just as important, because we're winding down, we're getting ready to prepare for the next day, and a great sleep schedule and a great night routine can help ensure that we're prepared for the morning. So it's just a big circle that it's all needed. Then if you need more specific times, we can time block things where we have certain things that we do in certain times of the day. So doing this, if you find yourself interested in doing this, you can start off like myself as a beginner. You can get an app, because there's apps for everything, right? So you can get an app. I have one known as Structured, where I can have my stuff time blocked throughout the day and they send me notifications. What I like about it is that I can have it to where I am having it in categories. I can have other people with me, and this is just a free version. If you guys would like more features, you're more than welcome to get the premium version. But so far this works for me because that's all I'm really focusing on, is just being consistent and showing up for the different things that I've already set for my day. So I will leave the link down below in the description if you would like to give it a try. But if you're somebody who's not heavy into like technology, you could do the old school way and write it down. You could also do like Google Excel. But if you find yourself just want to start off real slow, just start off with like a morning routine and just start off with like a night routine and just see how that works for you. So try that and watch how you become a more organized queen. So then number 2 would be to change your mindset. Changing your mindset is really important when it comes to doing things that we have to do, because if you try to show up with these negative feelings and these negative emotions, you're really not going to put your all to it, and you're going to find an excuse to really not do it. So having a mindset shift where you're able to kind of look forward to doing it, whether that's changing your wording up, instead of saying I have to do something with or like a downward tone, saying in a bright tone, well, I get to do this. It's kind of like an opportunity, like you're looking forward to doing it. Another reason that may cause you to want to procrastinate may be you have a negative attachment towards the task that you need to do. So for example, let's say that you have to do the dishes, and every time it's time, you tell yourself, oh, I gotta do these dishes, oh, I gotta get ready to do these dishes, I don't like dishes. When you say I gotta do something, it's more like a chore. And there are a lot of us that hate dishes, myself included. But if you change your perspective on things and actually say, oh, I actually get to do dishes because this is part of my basic life skills, then that in a different way can kind of help you stop procrastinating. So that's just one example of how we will use other things to procrastinate. So the next time you have an important task to do, or something that you need to show up for, watch how you will find something to keep yourself from doing that actual task. Identify and be aware of just the triggers, or what is it that you start to do once you start diving into that procrastination mode. Other examples of procrastinating could be going out too much with friends, going out to the mall, going to eat, but just always going out to social outings to avoid other tasks. You could be sleeping too much. That's also a sign of depression, so more on that in another video. If you find yourself sleeping too much, you may need to go to a specialist and see if you may have depression. Just want to throw that out there. So there are lots of things that we have to kind of do that we don't like to do. When we think of it in a way where instead of I have to do something, and more of I get to do it, because a lot of times we take things for granted. So just being able to switch those words around to I get to will kind of make it sound more fun and something to look more forward to. So changing your mindset is very big, because you can ensure that, you know, we're always not going to have motivation. We're not going to always want to do something. But the power is doing it even when you don't want to. And that's how you achieve success. So give that a try and just let me know how that, so just give it a try and let me know if you guys absolutely believe in mindset and all that down in the comments below. And also, I do want to say this. Remember, if you want change in your life, you have to change. You cannot expect change for your life and then still remain stagnant and the same. It does not work that way. So another example would be to do the least desirable or enjoyable task first before you do what you want to do, the most enjoyable task. This can kind of help you in a more psychological sense, because you're rewarding yourself with something that you want when you get done persevering through something that you don't want. So this gives you a little dopamine right when you get it and gives you more motivation to continue on in that type of manner. So let's say you are someone that has an assignment due. You have a big paper due, and you know, like, it's due at like 12 o'clock and you have yet to done it. You probably only done like the brainstorming part. You didn't even type anything. Instead of saying, oh, well, I have, maybe it's like 8 o'clock, I can do my work at maybe 10 o'clock, and then I can, let's just say you have a paper due and it's due by 12 and now it's like 5 o'clock. But you really want to go and have fun with your friends. Instead of going out and having fun first, which will then kind of, more than likely you're not going to do it after you have fun. So instead of doing the fun first, how about you switch it? How about you do what you don't want to do first, like the paper? Because more than likely it's going to take you probably like 2 hours, 3 hours at most. Do that first and then go out with your friends, kind of giving yourself a reward, and then see how you feel afterwards. And just keep trying that, because sometimes we just need to be able to have something to look forward to whenever we have to do something that we do not like. Because not everything that we have to do that requires assistance or showing up for will be fun. And then my last example would be to know what exactly is your big why. This by far would be my most. If you don't take anything else from this video, this by far is the biggest one that you need to kind of write down, instill it in your brain. But just remember, you need to understand, what is it that you want out of your life? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want to be able to look back on and say, I have no regrets because this is how I live my life? Once you figure that out, it will become so much easier to do things that you don't want to do and that you're avoiding, and other stuff that also comes along with not being where you want to be in life. I promise you guys, when you realize this, even if you're someone who don't know what you want out of life, like you're lost, this sometimes can happen to the best of us. So whenever you find yourself lost, like you don't even know what you want, this is where you need to kind of start having some self-solitude and actually get the time to be around yourself more, whether that's leaving phones, having no type of screen time, being by yourself with just you, with nothing on to distract you. Because we're not just here to wake up and let life carry us. We have a purpose. You just have to find it. So that's like the biggest thing I can give you when it comes to figuring out what it is that's your big why. And this in turn will help you preventing procrastinating. Because a lot of times if we don't have it around us to remind us, we're not going to remember to keep doing the things and keep taking the steps that's going to get us to where we want to go. So, and a little bonus here, because I love to kind of always give you extra tip. The biggest thing too that you need to remember when you find yourself getting ready to start procrastinating, what can make preventing procrastination easier for you would be to have a great environment full of supportive, like-minded people. So just whether that got to be online, you got to go to seminars and find these people. You can even go on social media and join groups or talk to people online. Pay for a mentor. Do what you have to do, but surround yourself with like-minded people that will motivate you and challenge you, because doing it alone sometimes is also what keeps you from moving forward. And the truth about procrastinating, honestly, we all in our lives procrastinate one way or the other. It happens to the best of us. Don't beat yourself up for it. If you find that you are procrastinating way too much than you like, the first thing you need to do is just give yourself grace. Forgive yourself. Understand that you're human. Don't beat yourself down, but just know, like, now is the time. Now that I am aware, now that I've finally said, okay, this is what I am doing, this is what's going on, now is that the time when you start taking action towards the opposite. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I'm glad you guys stayed and listened to me ramble on about procrastinating. Let me know down below if you guys procrastinate and how much do you procrastinate. I find myself it kind of a bad habit because I like the adrenaline rush of procrastinating. If you're someone like that too, let me know. But until next time, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and see you soon.